Hello. Good morning, everybody. I am Pastor Nick. See right there on the shirt, Pastor Nick.
Good morning, everybody. I am Pastor Frannie.
And this is We Wednesday. We are breaking down Pastor Frannie's book, Let's Be the Women and Let the Men Be the Men. And today we got an exciting topic we want to get into. See if Pastor Frannie can get through it in one show. If not, we'll go into two shows. But today we want to talk about something that I think is vital to talk about as women, because I think in today's age of all this plastic surgery, all this stuff women are doing to try to be outwardly beautiful, they need to understand the importance of their inner beauty, right?
That's what it's at.
Yeah. So today we want to talk about unlocking the power of your inner beauty, because we need to understand that real beauty never fades, right? It's the unfading, if you will, glow of the woman whose strength, peace, and character flow through God. So we need to understand that as Pastor Frannie goes through this and breaks it down, it's really going to be about why inner beauty is a woman's true superpower and how it has the power to not only capture her husband's heart, but also win his soul to Christ. Okay. So today, the things we really want to talk about are things like why inner beauty matters more than outer adornment. Why is it so important that you focus on being the woman of God that you've been called to be versus looking like the woman of the world that you want to be? Somebody write that down. Why you need to focus on being innerly the woman of God God has called you to be versus look like the woman of the world wants you to be. That's powerful. Mm-hmm. How your attitude affects your husband's identity as a provider and a protector. Your attitude, how your attitude affects his identity, right? The secret of restoring intimacy, trust, and balance in your marriage. And then finally, we want to talk about stop this whole doing it all attitude that women have, right? Be strong, be fulfilled, but understand that you don't have to do everything. You don't have to bring home you remember that commercial? I'll bring home the bacon, I'll fry it up, and all that's nonsense. Marriage is a team sport, and that's what we need to get through. So with that said, I'm gonna turn it over to Pastor Fran. I'm gonna let her do all the talking today. And I guess we want to cover point one, which is, what did you think was one of the more important? The first point to start at was what?
That God values the hidden person of the heart.
Okay.
And that inner beauty is a woman's superpower, first of all.
Right.
And that God values the hidden person of the heart.
Right.
And we must develop what lasts beyond our looks.
Right.
So I want to start.
Develop what lasts beyond our looks.
Yes, we must develop what lasts beyond our looks, because our looks are going to fade.
Right.
1 Peter 3:1-5 in the NIV, I want to start there and look at what the word says about it. It says, wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words, but by the behavior of their wives. Mm-hmm. And I just want to count right there a minute. It is not through much discussion. It is not through nagging. It is not trying to control them and tell them what to do and make them do what it is that we want them to do.
Right.
Number 2, when they see the purity and reverence of your lives, when they see, notice it didn't say here.
Verse 2.
Yes, I said number 2.
Yep.
Notice it did not say here. It said, when they see the purity and reverence of your lives. Mm-hmm. Number 3, your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and wearing the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. That's where we live today. We want elaborate hairstyles. We put all our time and attention into how we look, clothing, all of it, such as and number 4, rather, verse 4, rather, it should be that of your inner self. So he's saying it's not from outward adornment, it's from the inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in the sight of God. So it doesn't mean that we're supposed to be quiet, we don't say anything, we are mousy, we're shy, or you could be a happy person. A gentle, quiet spirit is about a spirit that's at peace.
Right. Oh, that's good.
It's about a spirit that's at peace, a spirit that's at rest and have joy and have hope in God.
That's good.
So it's not a personality, which is of great worth in God's sight. For this is the way the holy women of past who put their hope in God used to adorn themselves. So it's an adornment.
All right. So that was 1 Peter
Yep.
3, verses 1 to 5 in the NIV. And I recommend all of y'all go back and read that. That was really powerful.
Right. So that phrase again, the hidden person of the heart, refers to inner character, a spiritual state of a person.
Right.
So what are some of the attributes? I want to hit some attributes. So
what does it look like?
Yes. It's to be meek, humble, peaceful, even in difficult circumstances. So many times when things, are difficult and we feel like we've been wrong, we think we have the right to act out, curse and profanity. We just throwing things. We don't have that right. So it's a peaceful state no matter what.
When your husband acts like an idiot, that's not giving you a free card for you to act like an idiot.
Right. That's how you really show your superpower, because you're bigger than that.
Okay.
You don't need to do that. You have self-control, which is a spirit.
Fruit of the spirit.
Fruit of the spirit. So even in difficult circumstances,
right.
Patience.
Right.
Patience. Authenticity. Are you authentic? Are you who God's called?
Are you a copycat?
We have a lot of copycats.
Oh.
That's why it's moved. What's happening in the world is moved into the church.
Right.
Because we don't know how to be authentic. I love being authentic. I love it. I love being different than the world. I always have been. And that's great to be okay in your own skin.
Right.
You have to be resilient.
Right.
What is resilience? How long does it take you to get past a challenge? If you're so it's a week, 2 weeks. Are you resilient? Do you give it to God and move forward? Have you stood the test of time? That's one of the fruits of the spirit. Long suffering, standing the test of the time, being kind. It's another attribute. Empathy, understanding. You can understand what someone's going through. Compassion. Can I help their suffering? You want to help their suffering. That's why I wrote the book.
Well, so I think one of the reasons why this is a struggle, and ladies, y'all help me because I'm not a woman, but where's their reward, right? In other words, they're going to do all this, but they don't. The other things, when you do those other things, it's almost like some instant gratification, right?
Right, and that's why they do those other things. I like the work because it's easy.
Right.
It's quick. They get a response, right? But the response is not lasting.
Right.
But the rewards God gives us for this is huge. You get wisdom.
Right.
You're elegant.
Right.
You're poised. You have self-control.
Think about those things she's saying: wisdom,
really
elegance, poise, self-control.
You inspire people.
That is when you think of a lady, right? You think of a powerful woman, right?
Yeah. She's not speaking.
Right.
She's just her being in your presence. You can know she's different.
Right.
She's respected.
Right.
She's honored.
Right.
People want to be a part of her. Why? Because she makes people feel great.
Wow.
And this reward, it's like okay, so it's not an outward appearance.
Right.
This is not an outward appearance thing. Dresses and bows, and those dresses and bows in our hair. The women are now starting to wear dresses and bows again.
Right.
They're putting these big bows in their hair. It's an image. So they want to look like a woman, but they don't want to act like one.
Right.
So that is a power in that. Why do you think they're doing it? Because it's a power. Our sexuality, our behavior, and our attitude is our superpower. How we operate in those three.
Your sexuality, your behavior,
and your
attitude. Somebody put that in there. That's your superpower. Your sexuality. Now how does sexuality look? Because that almost sounds like you being slutty.
No, it's just you being a woman. You've been called to nurture just who you are, and it's just the essence of a woman. It's not being provocative. That's totally against what I'm talking about. It's
provocative.
Not trying to act sexy. You don't have to.
Right.
When you have been adorned with the word.
Right.
People want to be around you. People see it. You respect it. Honor. It's just wonderful. And it's not some personality, and getting surgeries and all these type of things.
Right.
But we're going to talk about the sexuality. I guess I'll talk about it now. It's a focus. It's like I was saying, the sexuality is a real problem because we put that before the behavior and before the attitude.
Right.
That should be
so the
first.
behavior and the attitude creates a different kind of sexuality.
Oh my
is
God,
what I hear
yes.
you saying.
Yes, it does.
Did y'all hear that, ladies? The
sexuality.
Yeah, but what is it that creates it? The two other things.
Oh, the behavior and the attitude, the godly behavior and the godly attitude. What we need to be focused on, not the sexuality, because that's going to fade. And that's why we're having to now go and get these surgeries and do superficial things to ourselves, try to look more attractive. But that's going to end. I don't care what you do.
Right.
But what I'm talking about today, the inner beauty, it never fails.
Right.
It never fails.
Right.
And I'm not saying that we aren't supposed to be beautiful.
Right. And work on our body and look nice.
And look great. I'm not saying that. He's not saying that. He was just saying it shouldn't be first. Right. It should be more than the inner beauty. We have women, shaving their heads and, your looks don't matter. We have the other end.
Yeah, you have both ends. Yeah.
Yeah. They wearing the big clothes, so you don't see none of their physical attributes and things.
Or they got ugliness, like fat hanging out.
Yeah, they eat. They don't care. They don't work out. All those type of things. So that's not what that is either. And Solomon, the sons of Solomon, he tells his bride repeatedly how beautiful she is. Mm. And remember the women? It was Bathsheba, Rachel, Esther, Rebecca, Sarah. They were all described as beautiful women. Mm. So there's nothing wrong with being beautiful. But you must remember the inner beauty never fades, no matter how the body changes. That's what a superpower is. People will gravitate to it. Not only your husband, women will gravitate towards you, want you to speak into their lives. So we have so many women out there pushing themselves, trying forward, but they haven't developed their inner beauty. They haven't walked in their superpower. Mm. And you can tell. And it don't last. They're not able to sustain and be a real help to the women. Mm. So that's why I wrote the book, because I love women. And I want so much for us to win. And God told me that I needed to tell this. I've lived this, and I'm telling you, it is the truth. It works.
Well, I think that for me, number two, and we only got a few minutes now, so you got through one. See what I mean? Yeah. I think so. But one of the things I think was one of your greatest strengths to me as a man and being married to you was your godly conduct, the way that you carried yourself, the way that you put God's word first, no matter your. I remember when I was trying to have sex with you before marriage, and how you stood on the standard of God and you honored God, you honored your father. You made it very clear to me. You were very plain about it. I'm not going to dishonor God to honor you. And you explained it to me how it would, how would then, if you would, the way you said it to me was, if you would cheat on God, what would make me think that you wouldn't be faithful to me? And it's just this time that it takes. So talk a little bit about godly conduct and how that works. In 2 minutes.
Okay. Even when our words fail, your respect and your reverent behavior speaks volumes. Mm-hmm. It speaks volumes. So women have the power to set their environment. Mm-hmm. Everybody's environment. Do you know that is so powerful? Mm-hmm. That's what they say, happy wife, happy life. Mm-hmm. Because when people are in our presence, we have the power to make them feel at rest, at peace. Right. And we also have the power to make them feel anxious, worried.
And you know why what my wife says is true? I know in a boardroom, when I'm in business meetings, when a woman walks in the room and she's dressed very... Is the professional slutty word provocative?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that provocative?
Yeah.
Yeah. When a woman's dressed provocative, in other words, she's trying to show her sexuality is hanging out. All the men in the room don't take her serious. No. And when a woman walks in the room and she's elegant, like my wife talked about, she's poised, those things my wife talked about,
it's an attraction.
Men take her above. She literally elevates herself above being serious. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, and I've seen it 100 times.
That's true.
And women get like on LinkedIn and they put these sexy pictures of them, and they don't understand it doesn't get you further with men. And the men that it does get you further with, they're just looking to sleep with
they're going to use you.
And they're just looking to use you. And now you're
scoring.
Right.
So in Proverbs 4:10-1, we have the power to build or tear down our homes.
Right.
Martha and Mary, a good example. They came. to the house. Remember,
Right,
Bethany
right.
with his disciples.
With Jesus.
And he told Mary, she wanted to be in Jesus' presence.
Right.
She wanted a spiritual engagement.
Right.
Martha wanted to work. She wanted hospitality.
Yeah.
She was hospitable, right? But
Right.
she was seeking validation that way. And who did he tell was doing the better thing?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mary was sitting in his presence.
Right.
And look who was agitated.
Right.
Martha. Because
Right.
she was about her exterior. What's going on outside, doing stuff,
right,
instead of building her spirit.
Right, instead of building. That's good. So we're going to end there for the day. I hope this has been, good for you guys. It's definitely good for us. We, Pastor Frannie, this is our passion with you women. If you've never gotten the book, go to www.ltmorlando.org/book. You can get our book there. I don't even think I have the thing anymore. Yeah, I do. Hold on. I'll put this here as we close. If you want to get the book that we're talking about, it's Let's Be the Women and Let the Men Be the Men. You can go there and you can order it. Thank you for joining us today. Share this with a friend. You can go to our website, get a copy, get this actual broadcast, and it has a link there where you can forward it through text, through email, however you want. If you think this would help somebody, spreading the word helps the program. We love you. We love you. We love you. And until tonight, if you're coming to church, I got an update about Super Sunday. Looking forward to giving you guys that. We had a great God did what God does. So we're going to talk about that tonight at church, as well as continuing talking about demonstration. We love you. We love you. We love you. Until next time, Pastor Frannie saying, enjoy life.